What if the person you admire most also becomes the one who casts the deepest shadow? What happens when a relationship, born of this profound inspiration, ultimately just strips you of your very identity?
It's a tough question.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into Like Happiness by Ursula Villarreal-Moura, a truly complex narrative. It forces us to grapple with that delicate balance between inspiration and exploitation.
Right, and self-discovery versus, unwitting surrender.
It's a story that asks how much of ourselves we truly give away, in our closest connections.
And you're experiencing a unique two-voice AI conversation powered by Google's NotebookLM for deeper, more dynamic book analysis. This isn't just about a story. It's really about the profound impact others have on our perception of self and the often unseen cost of intellectual fascination.
And as we unpack this fascinating narrative, remember to check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel. Our AI book analysis tools help us uncover unique patterns and deeper insights you might otherwise miss. It's all about inspiring reflection and rational thought.
Definitely worth checking out.
So let's unpack this. Our story begins with Tatum's early life and a childhood marked by a struggle with reading.
Yeah, it wasn't easy for her at first. Like, second grade, she was apparently just memorizing words.
Just memorizing, piecing them together like a puzzle, she said. But then, around 9, something clicks.
Right, Judy Blume. Just as long as we're together.
She fell head over heels for it, apparently woke her parents up in the middle of the night, practically crying about the characters.
Wow, so books clearly became more than just, a pastime for her.
Oh, definitely. Wouldn't you say they were her sanctuary?
Absolutely, a marvelous oasis, she calls it, where she was reduced to a pulsating mind. That phrase is powerful.
It really is.
And this deep connection to literature from such a young age, it really sets the stage for her later intense admiration of M. Dominguez, doesn't it?
Totally. She was dreaming of literary pilgrimages, especially Massachusetts, a fault line of literary genius, she called it.
Thinking about Sylvia Plath, Emily Dickinson, writers whose work resonated with her own, her suffocating sense of malaise.
Yeah, she even fantasized about visiting McLean Psychiatric Hospital, like Esther Greenwood in the Bell Jar. That's intense.
It shows you where her head was at, that deep identification.
So with this kind of foundation, this literary yearning, she discovers M. Dominguez's debut book, Happiness.
And boom, it hits her like a revelation.
She felt like it just understood her psyche. It mirrored her own mix of English and Spanish, a vernacular I'd never read before in a book.
Yeah, making her feel reduced to a pulsating mind again. There's that phrase.
It became her new comfort read, her say goodnight Gracie. She'd plan her days around reading it, like a ritual.
Frozen grapes, bergamot candles, the whole thing. It's like the book truly saw her.
And that deep admiration quickly turns into action, doesn't it?
It does. Bold action. She decides to write him a fan letter.
Which she later admits was a huge risk, like crawling out on a limb, hoping for the best.
And the thrill when he actually replied must have been immense.
And then it just took off. Emails, phone calls. This daisy chain of our friendship, she describes. It felt completely new to her.
He even started using these affectionate terms like little one, making her feel completely yours.
And these weren't just quick chats either. She mentions he had a lousy memory.
Right, so she'd find herself explaining her major dual English and art history over and over.
But then comes this really pivotal moment. Unexpected generosity.
The student loans.
Yes. Yeah. M pays off a huge chunk. What was it, $20,000?
$20,000, which is,
wow,
on the surface, incredibly kind, right? But looking back, doesn't that also sort of subtly establish a power dynamic, maybe even a sense of obligation right from the get-go?
Absolutely. It's fascinating and complicated. It seems so benevolent, but it definitely blurs the lines of their relationship early on.
Yeah.
It could easily be seen as an early sign of how he might later exert influence, creating dependency before she even really saw it happening. So as Tatum's going through Williams College, she starts feeling pretty disillusioned with the whole academic literary scene.
Yeah, she saw it as this exclusive club, mostly white, well-off Americans and Brits. And this feeling actually started before she connected with him.
Interesting. How do you think that sort of intellectual dissatisfaction shaped her reaction to M's validation later?
Well, it created fertile ground, didn't it? If the traditional academic world feels alienating, exclusive, then M's attention, the feeling that his work really got her, becomes incredibly powerful.
Right. It makes her more open to finding that validation somewhere else, outside those rigid structures.
Exactly.
And that disconnect really comes to a head during a D.H. Lawrence seminar. They're discussing St. Maur.
Oh, that scene, it's rough. The portrayal of the Mexican native character, Geronimo Trujillo.
Who gets renamed Phoenix by the white characters. Just blatant racist renaming.
And the worst part, for Tatum, was how her classmates just engaged in this cold, critical analysis, completely ignoring the racism.
Yeah, she felt outnumbered, invisible, and she just stayed silent. But you can feel her internal struggle.
That seminar scene is so telling. It's not just about her personal struggle. It's a sharp critique of how academia can sometimes, analyze things in a vacuum.
Divorcing it from the social context.
Right. That cold, critical analysis can end up normalizing harmful stuff by ignoring the ethics. It makes you ask, when does academic detachment become, complicity?
That's a great point. And the dehumanization she felt there, it kind of echoed in this brief, awful encounter she had with a guy named Adam.
Oh, yeah, his racist comment. User.
Chilling. It just shows how ingrained those biases were, both inside and outside the classroom.
Definitely. It wasn't just theory for her. It was hitting her in her daily life, making her feel minimized, objectified.
So looking for something different, maybe, she spends a summer back in San Antonio waitressing downtown.
A totally different world from Williams.
Right. And she connects with her coworkers, Debbie, Oscar, Jesse, people living more grounded, working-class lives.
Jesse especially, with his 20 questions. She found a comfort there, didn't she?
Yeah, a comfort that she maybe wasn't finding with her college peers.
It seems like that summer was really important. A kind of counterpoint, offering genuine connection that was missing in that more intellectual but often alienating college environment.
Highlighting that need for real human interaction.
Which she found in unexpected places, yeah.
And then, New York. After all that, college, San Antonio, her journey takes another big turn. She moves into a nunnery.
From Williams to a nunnery, that's quite a leap.
Isn't it? Starts off quiet, solitary, strict rules. But then she meets Mayumi.
Her punk hall mate, who tutors her in Japanese.
And she feels this surprising animalistic urge towards Mayumi.
Whoa. That must have really challenged her assumptions about herself, about her sexuality.
Totally. She starts wondering, am I a lipstick lesbian? Bisexual?
It definitely pushed her out of her comfort zone. Forced her to be more social and open to new experiences, which sounds like it's probably a good thing for her then.
Yeah, navigating new feelings, new city. Then the dynamic with M starts to shift again, doesn't it? Especially when he goes off to Spain for that writing fellowship.
Oh, right. He starts struggling emotionally, sending her these desperate emails.
She basically becomes his emotional pillow.
Yeah, and that really highlights the imbalance in the relationship, doesn't it?
Clearly. Tatum realizes, work meant that I could afford to live, while M, he had the luxury of not forcing himself to write.
It's a stark contrast. It just underlines the privilege M had. He could navigate his creative blocks without the immediate financial pressure she felt.
Right. So her practical needs often took a backseat to his emotional drama.
Solidifying her role as his confidant, his support system. Unequal footing, for sure.
And into this complicated mix steps, Hiroshi.
Tatum's first legitimate boyfriend since meeting M.
Yeah, described as physically beautiful, positive outlook, offering her something stable and healthy.
A real contrast to the M situation.
And it's interesting how Tatum, who is so drawn to M's intellect, consciously tries to find things to admire in Hiroshi beyond just his looks.
It shows some growth, maybe. Recognizing that stability and health in a relationship might actually be more fulfilling than all that intensity and chaos with M.
Hiroshi represented a different path, yeah.
Yeah.
A different kind of happiness, perhaps.
But M's reaction to Hiroshi, not great.
Not great is putting it mildly. He calls the news muy unexpected, refers to Hiroshi as a smart model, a Japanophile.
Exclaiming, Dios mio. It screams possessiveness.
Right. I mean, you could maybe try to read it as genuine hurt or confusion, given their intense bond, but...
But the language he uses.
Yeah.
Smart model. It sounds so dismissive, like he's trying to devalue her choice, control her independence.
Yeah, it really highlights his discomfort with her finding stability outside of their connection, which was getting pretty imbalanced by then.
Make you cringe a bit reading that part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then things escalate with M's engagement to Denise.
Right. Tatum feels conflicted.
Totally conflicted. Relief, maybe, that the chaos might end, but also like something important between them was broken.
And that rooftop barbecue scene.
Oh, the barbecue. So telling. M shows up looking like something out of Miami Vice.
Denise is described as a gazelle. And that intimate term, mi vida.
He's using it for Denise now. right in front of Tatum.
Ouch. And then he judges her book choice. Dismisses fried green tomatoes as basura trash.
Completely oblivious to the lesbian subtext, which Tatum would have picked up on.
It's just dripping with subtle cruelty, isn't it? And performative affection. Using Mi Vida for Denise there feels like deliberate emotional manipulation.
Highlighting Tatum's diminished importance.
And dismissing her book choice just underscores how little he actually understood her inner world, her identity. It's all about him.
But the real gut punch, the ultimate betrayal, comes later.
The new novel, Emulations of Us.
He used her. He used her personal fan letter, intimate details of their relationship, specific lines, specific experiences.
All without her consent. No credit.
The feeling for Tatum was just devastating, that she was nothing more than source material.
Not a muse, she says, because a muse is exalted and admired. This was different. This was just taking.
And the final twist of the knife, leaving her out of the acknowledgments entirely, thanking everyone but me.
That's where the line between inspiration and just blatant appropriation gets terrifyingly clear.
Yeah.
Being source material implies complete dehumanization. Taking without giving back, without even recognizing the source, it raises huge questions about artistic ethics, power dynamics.
Especially when a creator draws so heavily from someone's life without permission.
It basically transforms their deeply personal connection into his intellectual property. Horrifying.
That betrayal eventually leads her to M's NYU reading. That's the breaking point.
She goes there, dressed up in this oxblood wrap dress, maybe expecting some kind of confrontation. Or resolution.
Yeah, maybe closure. Instead, she can't even get into the reserved seats.
And then has insult to injury.
She overhears him using that same term, mi vida, for another woman, Patricia.
Oh no. That must have shattered everything.
Total shattering of illusions. The crushing realization that she was interchangeable, just a mannequin to him.
Wow. That mannequin image is brutal. It perfectly captures that feeling of being stripped of humanity, just used as a template.
And seeing it happen again so publicly, that intimate connection replicated for someone else, that was the catalyst.
The thing that finally made her break free.
And the path to reclaiming her story starts unexpectedly with a phone call.
Right, the journalist, Jamal Odolingo from the New York Times.
Investigating allegations against the writer M. Dominguez.
And it wasn't just about Tatum. The journalist mentions another woman, Maria Luz, who also came forward.
Which highlights that this wasn't just a one-off, it was a pattern, systemic behavior on M's part.
And discovering she wasn't alone must have been significant, validating her experience, but also revealing this pattern of exploitation.
Yeah, it shifts it from just a personal grievance to something bigger, shared injustice, which is empowering in a way. Tatum hesitates at first, naturally. Dredging all this up is costly.
But she decides to cooperate with Jamal. And that process leads to a real reckoning for her.
She starts to fully grasp the power dynamic, how he took advantage of that.
And she makes an important distinction. She wasn't physically mistreated, she says.
But the relationship was still deeply exploitative. And she has this really poignant realization. He groomed me.
That realization is so important because it broadens the definition of abuse, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Exploitation doesn't always leave visible marks. Emotional manipulation, stealing someone's story, dismantling their sense of self. That's incredibly damaging.
And groomed speaks to that slow, insidious process of control.
Exactly.
So this new clarity, it propels her forward. She starts forging new paths, makes a big move.
To Chile, with Vera.
Her supportive partner. And that geographical distance, plus Vera's presence, seems crucial. It gives her the space to reclaim her own story.
Find some peace, finally. And gain perspective.
Yeah, she can look back with clarity, recognize how she used to minimize his objectionable behavior, that habit of forgive and forget.
Which she can finally shed. How important do you think that external shift, new country, new partner, was for her internal healing?
Oh, I think it was critical. The physical and emotional distance allows her to untangle her identity from his influence, finally.
Yeah, reevaluating the past without him right there. It lets her see those old coping mechanisms for what they were.
And in this process, she arrives at this really powerful new definition of self-worth.
She says unequivocally, I believe them. She believes the accusations against him.
And she can't read Happiness anymore, the book that meant everything.
But interestingly, she doesn't hate him. She acknowledges he was the first person in the world to make me feel seen.
Back when she desperately needed it. But crucially, she doesn't need him for validation anymore.
That's the key.
Her final memory, Kelmus Beach. where she felt her silhouette had been swallowed by your outline. Now it's a metaphor for the self she's reclaimed, built apart from him.
Wow. What an intellectually demanding journey through this book. Tatum's story, it's not just personal, is it?
No, it's a really powerful exploration of how we define ourselves in relationships, the insidious nature of power imbalances.
And that profound act of reclaiming your own truth, it really makes you think about those hidden costs of intellectual fascination.
It raises so many questions, doesn't it, about the lines between inspiration and exploitation. How much of ourselves do we give away when we're looking for connection or validation?
Mm-hmm.
For more deep dives like this one, join us on Mindful Moments. That's our YouTube channel for AI book analysis that inspires reflection and rational thought. And check out our podcast S wherever you listen.
Thank you for joining us for this unique conversation.
Remember to subscribe, share this deep dive with someone who loves a truly thought-provoking book, and you can find Like Happiness via the link in the description. Most importantly, keep thinking critically about the stories you encounter and the stories you live.